Well guys, got these wagons pulled out of my way, so now we don't track as much mud getting back to the field. Another day, let's go get some hay inverted here. Just got 14 bales, round bales of clover sold, so that's good. We're making some more room on the pad. Finally getting some space here to stretch our legs. I really need to get that stone pile. That's really in the way, right there. I want that gone. I have potholes to fill in the driveway and some stuff to smooth out right here, but I haven't filled that hole in. I'm not pointing very well. Right there in front of the barn. You can see I got everything else backfilled against the footer how I want. But once the next barn goes in, they're gonna need somewhere to clean out the trucks. So right there would be a perfect spot to wash out. That's why I left that purposely, on purpose, left that how it was so they can clean the trucks out there and I don't get a bunch of cement in my stone pile or my driveway, which isn't gonna be easy to work with there to be buried out of the way. So it'll be perfect. It just has been sitting there longer than I was thinking it would. But once the other footer goes in and poured and I can backfill, I'll backfill everything, and what's left of the stone will fill in potholes and stuff in the driveway. Obviously finish backfilling this barn first, then do the other one. But that'll get that gone. He's coming back for another 10 bales next week. You can see we still have a lot of round bales, but it's moving. So we're getting an okay price for it. I'm not too worked up. It's definitely enough that we're not completely losing our butt on it. We're making a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna go walk back and check the hay actually before I unhook the rake and do all this fun stuff. All right, folks, we're here at the field. We're gonna invert some hay today. See how this works out. It's still pretty wet underneath, so I'll show you a couple things here on this inverter. If you haven't been around these, I love the idea of it. A few things I changed, but all in all, I like having this as a backup plan. Does a great job inverting. Had some issues in the straw earlier. Hopefully this will do the chute will work today. I had to take the chute off when we were doing straw the other day. So first two things we got to do before we go to the field, and then it's basically just first things first. You got to drop the pickup. You pull this pin out and you lift up and you put it down. So I can't do that one-handed, so I'm going to set the phone down here. We'll do this and then we'll engage the drive mechanism. All right, pickup's down, chute's in place. I lost my pin somewhere, so that's what's going to hold it. Now you got to come down here and you see this guy. We're just going to flip him. There we go. And then when you do start moving, it'll rotate till the pin goes in, and now you'll be engaged in driving. The slip clutches on each of the tires, kind of like you do on bar rakes. All in all, they're pretty simple machines. So when you first start these up, see, I just got back in the cab. You want to drive real slow so you don't like have a lot of momentum when that pin goes in and starts running. See, there you go. Now the pin's engaged and we're moving. All right, let's start inverting. Let's see how this goes here. I don't know, the chute has all those different positions. We'll see if I got it in the right one. I'm going awful slow here. There we go, get on this row. I think I could probably move the chute in. I don't think it's doing anything. This is a thin row, so I'll probably end up moving the chute in, but let's get into the field here and make sure we're happy with this setting. The nice thing is no PTOs, no hydraulics. You can pull it with a pickup truck, and we have pulled it with a pickup truck probably more often than we have a tractor, to be completely honest. Just because I don't feel like dropping whatever the tractor's on and we're taking it to the field and just trying to buy us time. Yeah, I think the chute's in the right position. Go about 4 to 5 miles an hour with it, but I'm just kind of easing into it here to make sure it's all working good. Yeah, look at that, how it's just flipping it completely upside down. That's exactly what I want. This is gonna work out pretty nice. All right, now let's get the rest of the field going here. I'll get the set about 4 to 5 miles an hour. There we go. And it's really gentle with the hay too. It keeps a lot of leaves on. I really like that. See kind of the yellowing underneath the windrow. I think with all the rain we had, stuff's kind of moist underneath, so it did pick up some ground moisture. So this will help get it off of that area and flip upside down. See, the one downside of this thing, not having hydraulics on it, when you want to shoot off of a row or something, you're going to drag it out. So I'll have to fix that later. But you can see how green and nice this stuff is. It does a good job of keeping leaves on. Just flips that stuff right upside down, does a really beautiful job. And you can see this brown row here versus the green row to the left or the right. Just really do like this tool for the few times we do use it a year. We've only had it since last year's 4th cutting, but it's been great the few times we've needed it. See how green this is underneath the windrow. Definitely getting it moved, at least. Whether it's flipped or not is going to help a whole bunch, but especially with getting it flipped, it's going to be very beneficial. Well, everything's inverted, but unfortunately it's not going to go for a while. Look at this green stuff it just pulled up. That is not what I want to see when I'm hoping to bale in a couple hours. I don't think baling's going to happen until end of today at the earliest, unfortunately. I don't know what the heck's going on, just can't seem to get stuff to dry. Now that is the last row I raked, so we go look at these headlands and they're not a whole lot better. I got a couple other odds and ends I can do today. I'm thinking maybe I'll go do those and kill some time so I can come back and bale late tonight or something. Really want to get it baled today, but we really haven't lost too much color and the leaf's still there. This stuff ain't gonna go for at least 2 or 3, 4 hours. It's nice, really nice. Just needs a lot more time. 1 o'clock right now, so I doubt this will go before 4 o'clock. I don't know, I'm thinking about maybe going to mow more hay down. I was gonna do that after I got done baling, but maybe now I do it before I bale. I don't know. Can't make any sense of this. So, oh well, at least I got it flipped. I don't know, right or wrong. I can definitely tell that green from where the rows were. Here, if I can get my foot down, we'll go and drive and look at it. Let's see here. So you can see right there, this row here, that side of it. I don't know how much this camera picks up, but it's green. Really green underneath. I don't know. Alright, well, I'm gonna go fuel up the mower, maybe grease that, and grab a coffee or something to eat, and maybe take off to go load down some hay. The only issue is I got over an hour drive to get to the field, plus 2 to 3 hours of mowing. So even if I left right now, the earliest I'd be mowing would be 2 o'clock. And the earliest I'd be done mowing would be probably 4 or 5 o'clock. Tough decisions here. I got a load of straw I want to deliver tomorrow to get some room in the barn to put this in. We'll see. I think we got some stuff I can play around with here. We might make something happen yet today. Looks good though. Really good looking hay. Well, I made it to the field. Finally. Oh my gosh. It's been like an hour drive. It sucks. Looks pretty good. Let's start mowing. I can't even explain the night and day difference between second and third cut. This field's had a ton of rain on it since we made second. While it did not have much rain apparently between first and second. We did get it sprayed with a foliar and molasses and some carbon, and I mean, this stuff just took off, and we're in an area that I wasn't even able to hardly rake anything together to make a windrow. Like, it was just bare. So basically, like, this whole section here, I was maybe just running the baler along for no reason at all until you got to about maybe 2/3 or a third of the way into the field. And right here, this stuff's almost as tall as the pickup, like the header, I guess, if you want to call it that. Like, it's just insane how thick and lush and green and just really nice this hay has turned out on third cutting. It's really impressive. Well, just got out, checked a few things. It's mowing pretty good. Some of it's laid over, so you'll have some spots that ain't great, but compared to what it has been, mowing great. The crimp looks really good. The hay looks really great. It's a bigger stem than I'd love to see on the third cut. I know it's getting nitpicky, but I mean, it is. Just plain and simple, this stuff just had the rain and the fertility, and it just took off and put on a big stem, and that happens. But it's just loaded with leaves, so I think most people will be able to look past the thicker stem and appreciate it for what it is, just this really high quality third cutting alfalfa. I mean, we'll see what happens once we get it dried down and in a bale, but with that being said, the thicker stems, I'm seeing some really nice crimps on it. I did tighten up the crimper a little bit. There's a crank there before I came to the field. Really liking what I'm seeing right now. You can see we got a lot mowed down. Good amount to go, so we better keep moving here. Still want to bale some hay tonight, and it's after 4 o'clock already, and it'll be a half hour to get home from here with my wife coming to pick me up. We're leaving the mower here. It's probably 20-25 minute drive to get out here by car, so probably got a good hour-ish left of mowing. I'm hoping I can be in the baler by 6:30 baling, if it's dry. Sure, it better be dry. I don't know. Like, there's heavy dews. It's hurting us. And I guess we'll just see what happens here. But let's get back to mowing. So, pull out of park. I don't have enough RPMs. Let's see if we can do that. One more. PTO. Alright, time to mow. Well, we're about done with the first 21-ish acres. There's 32 here. The next part's on the other side of that drive. Man, this stuff is thick. It looks really good. Really happy with it. Well, it doesn't look like I broke any knives. So, that's good. They're a little chewed up, but you want to know what I hit? See all that dirt? Shoo! That's probably not something you want to hit in a hayfield. Holy crap. Jeez Louise, that's not good. Okay. Oh, my turn signal's on. Well, I guess I'll just, I got this to work around now. That's fun. Uh-oh. There's the manhole. It was in there, but I thought it was well below grade. Apparently not. Apparently not. Okay. Cool. Not really. Well, it didn't break any knives, and it's still mowing fine. So I'd call that a win. Just got to fix that when we get all this hay baled off, I guess. And be very mindful of where that is. There it is. It's up there. When we come back to rake and bale, obviously. I do not want to drop a tire down in that. That would make for a very not so fun day. That could have been a lot worse, I guess. Oh well, I suppose. Take these things in strides, I guess, folks. You just kind of make do with what you have, but all things considered, that really could have gone a lot worse. So, you know, maybe 5 minutes with the skid steer out here, and we'll have her back in and good to go. But the problem is, I think I want to bring in some more dirt to pack around it or put over top of it. I don't care if nothing grows. I just want dirt on top of it or something, so that it'll glide over top instead of catching that again. I've seen it before. I saw it when I was in here last time, and it was all below grade. I don't know what happened today. I just heard a big thud, lifted up, and yeah. I mean, you could hear a thud and then bog down. I think it was bogging down more from the dirt than anything. But it definitely picked that up, shoved it, and dragged it out. I don't know how nothing broke, to be honest. I mean, I was only going maybe 6 miles an hour, but still, that's fast enough to do some damage with something like that. All right, mower's parked for the day. I just got to let it cool down. Let's take a look at some of this beautiful third cutting alfalfa here. And this is, honestly, it all looks kind of the same, even though when I came out here like 2 weeks ago, it was much nicer in this field, especially as you wrapped around and got back there. Now, with that being said, what I'm seeing from the mower right now, it all looks pretty uniformed. Still have thin spots on the southwest side, a little bit into there, and then some shorter spots here and there, but nothing thin other than those few spots. You look at this, just clustered with leaves, and we're talking, yes, we have some bigger stems. You can see that here. That's a bigger stem for third cutting, that's for sure. But you see how good that crimp is on it? This stuff's crimped really well, crimped very consistently. There's another crimp. Hopefully that'll help it dry. Now you look at just the stem, one stem pulled out. Plenty of leaf going up. It looks like there's a lot of stem to leaf ratio, but then you look in here, all you see is just beautiful, beautiful leaves. Like I said, with that being said, big stems, we have some really big leaves. I mean, that's as big as my thumb almost, and the color's immaculate. Starting to see just a little bit of browning in the bottom layers of those plants. Nothing major. I've mowed much worse, and it still turned out to be some really nice hay. You can see we got some flowers. I'm really happy with the maturity of this hay right now. Really happy with the windrow formation, the crimp, everything about this. We're off to a really good start. Now let's just hope we can get this stuff dry and baled. You can see a little bit of yellowing in the bottom. So right there, it was time to mow this. I mean, it could have been a little bit longer. I could have waited, but I think if I waited too much longer, we'd start seeing a drop in quality. We're not feeding dairy cattle by any means. So there's some nice things about making horse hay. It's as long as it looks pretty good and consistent with some other fields, it's all gonna get sold for the same price. We're not feeding it. Now, if I had like dairy cows or beefers, for whatever reason, I decided alfalfa is the way to put weight on and not corn silage, which I don't know, whatever. But if you're trying to say we want as many pounds of energy or calories or pounds of protein per acre and all of that, you might pay a closer attention to maybe the maturities of when you're mowing and trying to get that leaf retention. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters to my customers is it looks pretty leafy, it's not very stemmy, and then those usually go hand in hand, but not always. I mean, you can have some fairly leafy stuff, but then it could be pretty coarse, I guess, in the sense that the stems are pokey. I mean, you can't really make alfalfa soft, but there's times where it's somewhat softer than others, and that's definitely a plus. But plenty of leaf, that's a big thing when you're doing legumes for your horse customers. Obviously, you don't want something that's just all stems, very coarse, very thick stems, and color's another big thing. And then probably the most important, it's dry and there's no mold. You don't want to do that for anything you're making hay for if you're feeding it. But this mold will start cutting into the quality of the hay. I believe the mold spores and some of the other things that get in there, they do start eating some of the amino acids or something. I don't really know how it all works, but it does cut into probably the quality of the hay in a sense. And then on the flip side of that, you also have the chance of making livestock sick with heavy amounts of mold. And then I don't know, I'm not going to speak on horses, but I know in sheep abortions can be an issue with some moldy hay, probably reduced rate of gain, some of these things. That's if they don't get sick. That's just these other small things you don't think about. But at the end of the day, we're not really chasing super high protein levels or super high TDMs or whatever metric they're going off now, like NFDs, or I don't even know. We got some irrigation lines here. Nice. But no, this should make some really nice hay if we can get it dried. So let's hope we do. I'm ready to go home and see if our hay's dry enough to bale and put up some really nice horse quality hay at home. Well, nothing makes sense anymore. You know, the rest of the summer, this would have been dry yesterday. And it's just got a little rattle to it, but nowhere near dry enough to bale. I mean, it's still really just tough. Can't make any sense of it. It's not like it's maybe 5 or 10 degrees cooler than what it's been the rest of summer that we dried hay down in 4 days. And this is looking at like, when did I mow this? I mowed this Thursday. Mow this Thursday? No, I mowed this Wednesday. I don't even know. I think I mowed this down Tuesday. I mowed this down Tuesday, raked it on Thursday, inverted it today, which is Friday. So that'd be, had all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday, all day Thursday, and now it's gonna be all day Friday. That's 4 days. Oftentimes we're baling on day 4. Tomorrow's gonna be day 5, and I don't know if it's gonna be dry tomorrow or not, but I don't know what's going on, because there's times I'm almost raking on day 3 sometimes, and some of the grass, I know this ain't grass, but some of the grass, you know, I've been baling on day 3 even. But it's not like the dews are any heavier. We've even had some wind a few days. It's been kind of overcast. Stuff just isn't drying at all. But I just hope we don't get a super heavy dew tomorrow, because that'll pull all the moisture out of the top of this windrow. See some nice color here. You look at this stuff, I don't know how much comes up on camera, but beautiful hay. Granted, that moisture hopefully will stay in the top of the windrow, just bleach out the top, and the rest of the bale will be all right, but nonetheless, it still starts to lose color. And then have another day where you're just waiting on it to dry. It just kind of really screws up my plans for tomorrow, unfortunately. But nonetheless, can't bale it wet, so I think that's going to be it for tonight. I might load up I think I'm going to load up the straw in the morning just in case pop-up shower comes. I don't want to take a chance on that getting rained on since it is in the barn and whatnot, so we'll hold up on that. I think we're just going to call it a night here. A lot earlier than I was hoping, so oh well. Thanks for watching.